What's going on, people? It is Irish Gunner HD here. You can call me Irish, and today I would like to talk about some F1. Basically, I don't touch F1 too much on the channel, but every now and again something happens that I really have to kind of pick at a bit. The last time it was when Formula One and Sky F1 basically arranged a deal from as of 2019 that it'll be exclusively shown on Sky F1, and I thought that was ridiculous, so I made a video on it, as well as some other stuff that was happening at the time. But today, I thought I would talk about the absolute insanity that happened towards the end of yesterday's race in the Austrian GP at the Red Bull Ring. Now, for those of you that haven't seen yet, that might be waiting, I'm going to kind of, I don't know, maybe the title or the thumbnail will have already spoiled it, so if so, I apologise, but I'm going to be talking about what happened at the very end of the race and who won and that kind of thing, so if you haven't seen it, click away, or hopefully you didn't see this. But basically, what happened was, around the last track, basically on different tyre strategies, I think Rosberg was on the softer tyre, he was on the super soft, Hamilton was on the soft, and after a load of stuff happened throughout the race, like kind of bits and pieces, swapping places and all, on the last lap of the race, Hamilton was chasing Rosberg around the circuit, sorry, on the second last lap, and then on the last lap, right, so I'm watching it here on YouTube, as they come around into the kind of the final straight, or the, what would you call it, the kind of pit straight, they get to the end, they get to the first corner, and Rosberg cuts it too close. He bounces up over the first corner, which massively, anybody who's ever played a racing game, anyone who knows a kind of a loss of traction, a bump like that, slows you down massively. So now you've got Hamilton in like an equally fast car on better tyres, making a move up the inside. So he makes the move up the inside, well, the outside technically. Then he is literally on the outside of the corner. He is basically on the outside white tyre mark of the white line that goes down outside the corner. Not literally, but basically that's the kind of how far out he is. He's like he's on the left side rumble strips here as I watch it back. Rosberg apparently had a brake-by-wire issue. He had an issue where his brakes weren't working. He couldn't stop, or he couldn't stop as hard. If that's the case, he shouldn't have left it as late as he did to brake. Flat out, no excuses, no, there's nothing else you can say about that. Hamilton made it clearly past him, he was clearly ahead of him. Rosberg decided to leave it till the last second possible to brake, to try and obviously keep up with Hamilton, because otherwise, if he didn't do that, Hamilton would have just gone around the outside of him anyway, because of the lack of speed that he had, and the lack of grip in his tyres. But yeah, basically what happened was then Hamilton came around the outside, leaving him, I seen somebody photoshopped a picture of it. There was 5 car lengths on the inside. Rosberg, combining with his brake, maybe he had too much speed, and from the onboard you could see that he had what was it, I'd say like probably about 80 degrees of turning angle. Like, it was absolutely dreadful. There was he made no effort to turn into the corner whatsoever from what we could see, it's not even up for debate. Just people actually saying, oh, he was going for the inside line and maybe he was going for a wide line to kind of cut back into the corner. No, he had a brake issue, perhaps that's what Mercedes are saying, and he didn't turn enough. Whether he could turn enough or not, I don't know, but it looked like on his wheel, he was trying to pull a Hamilton. He was trying to do one of those things that we've seen Hamilton do where they it's a bit right on the edge of being legal. Now, I will say that a lot of people are attacking Rosberg then from when Hamilton tries to come back on the track and they almost touch again, or they do touch, I'm not sure. That is not Rosberg's fault. It's not up to Rosberg to leave him space on the track. It's up to Hamilton to safely get up to a safe speed that he's he can come back on the track, but he isn't just pushing Rosberg over off the further into the track, if that makes sense. But to go back to the main corner thing, to just go over it, Rosberg, his first mistake, and this is the thing that's bothering me about it. I like Rosberg. I like Nico Rosberg. He's not a bad guy. But his stances and the way he's saying about things, he doesn't even mention the first corner mistake. When he did his little kind of airplane post-thing video, I watched at least 3/4 of it before I just got frustrated at him making terrible excuses and basically lying. But from what I've seen, he didn't actually even acknowledge the first corner mistake, which was huge. It's what cost him. His mistake on the first corner is what cost him the speed up that straight. That's why Hamilton caught up with him. If he hadn't made that mistake, if he had got a good exit of turn 1, he could have gone on and he could have had enough speed going into the first, or going through that long straight up the hill. He could have probably legit fought Hamilton, but because he made that mistake, he had no speed, no traction coming out of the corner. Hamilton got a great take off and he just shot past him. Then, obviously, as I said, as they come around it, and sorry if you can hear my mouse clicking in the background, I just have to keep resetting it to the point that I'm trying to see in the video. Which I obviously can't show you. I can't actually display the video because FOM are absolute Nazis about this kind of thing. But Yeah, so they come to the corner. Hamilton, he is following him in the slipstream. He thinks about going up the inside. Obviously, Rosberg defends it. So he sees he darts out to the outside. He's on the rumble strips, basically on the left-hand side of the circuit. He gives so much space. This is what it boggles my mind about Rosberg's excuse. Hamilton gives him so much space. Now, and then personally, I just believe it's a combination of his brakes were probably gone. According to Mercedes, he had a brake by wire failure. And the fact that then he didn't turn in, or he couldn't turn in, or like some kind of mind games trying to force Hamilton off. Something along those lines. That's what I think it was. He was trying to do the whole, like what Hamilton did sort of in Australia, I think, in the first corner. Canada. Sorry, Canada. Last race, or the race before. What Hamilton did, that kind of rough, just on the, like as I said, just on the edge of being illegal, kind of almost forcing you off, but just leaving enough space. Well, obviously in Canada he did force him off, but that kind of thing where you're overly aggressive with your push, but obviously with his brakes and stuff like that, just a combination of all that stuff resulted in it. But it was absolutely his fault. You can probably hear it in my voice. I'm incredibly frustrated that I'm actually hearing people standing up for him and defending him and claiming that it's Hamilton's fault by some reason. The apex of a car, the way Formula 1 cars take corners is outside, inside apex, outside. Hamilton purposely went outside if he could have, obviously, if he didn't get hit. Like, he purposely didn't take the apex, didn't cut across the corner, which he probably could have, like to possibly force off Rosberg if he wanted to. He probably just cut across them, they would have crashed anyway. But it's just, anybody who's seen the video cannot possibly defend Rosberg. That's it. That's a rant. That's a ramble on F1 that I just had to get off my chest because it's blowing my mind that I'm actually seeing people defending this. But yeah, that's it. If you enjoyed it, please do leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new here. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.